So welcome on YouTube. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite street food, one of my favorite Jamaican street food, which is Jamaican style boiled crabs. If you are from Jamaica or visited Jamaica, you probably are already familiar with these. They're sold primarily in an area called Euro Circle in Kingston, or if you're traveling along the coast, they're being sold on the street. They're so tasty, they're so delicious, they are so good, and this is my version of the Jamaican style boiled crabs. I hope you like it. So first things first, I want to prep my crab. Now these are soft shell crabs and any crab will work, even the pre-cooked crab legs. Now these are frozen and uncooked, and I'm not going to defrost them before cooking. I'm going to cook them frozen. And of course, it's always best to use live crabs, but the handling of the live crabs is just too traumatic for me. I just can't do it. Now your uncooked crab should smell like the ocean. If it smells weird or funky, I wouldn't consume it because it could make you really sick really fast, and we certainly don't want that. So next I'm going to run this under some cold tap water to remove all those ice crystals from the freezer, and then we are ready to move on to our next step. So now I'm going to give this a quick rinse in some fresh lemon juice or lime juice and water. You can use the reconstituted lemon as well. And I'm just going to allow this to sit in there for about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to drain that in the sink. Now once you've drained it, you're going to go ahead and rinse it at least 2 times with some fresh tap water and drain. And then we're going to set this aside until we're ready for it. So now we're going to bring a pot of water to boil on high flames. You want to have enough water to cover your pot plus an extra cup of water. So once our water has come to a boil, we're going to go ahead and add our all-purpose seasoning, add our salt, which is going to add a lot of flavor to our crabs. Now I'm using pink Himalayan salt because that is my favorite, that's my preference. The choice of salt is completely up to you. And I'm also going in with a handful of pimento seeds. And I'm also going to add some fresh scallion and a handful of fresh thyme as well. And I'm going to follow that up with some fresh garlic as well as some yellow onion. And I'm going to be using some scotch bonnet pepper and some habanero. I'm going to mix them. So this is what the scotch bonnet looks like, and you can tell the difference both with size and taste with that of the habanero. So we're going to drop them in, and we're going to leave them whole. Now, of course, if you're looking for and you can handle the intense heat of the peppers, you can go ahead and slice them in half and add them that way. Quick word of caution, there is almost always one pepper that burns. Sometimes there's multiple. So you definitely want to keep an eye on your pepper if you're trying to control the heat and you're just looking for the flavor. So now you want to give your broth a quick taste to test for saltiness. You want to make sure it tastes exactly how you want it to taste. It's not too fresh or it's not too salty. So now I'm just going to cover this for 1 to 2 minutes. I just want the flavoring from all my seasoning to release out into the water before I add my crab. So we're at that 2-minute mark and everything looks and smells absolutely delicious. You can smell the spiciness from all the seasoning in the pot, and we are now ready to start adding our crabs. Now please be very careful when lowering these into the hot water. You don't want to create a splash, you want to lower them gently. You can use a skimmer or a tongue, that way you protect your skin and your fingers. So now that the crabs are in our pot, we're going to go ahead and add our 2 final ingredients, which is vegetable oil. I am using coconut oil. The choice of oil is completely up to you. And some white distilled vinegar. Now, hear me out on the white distilled vinegar. I know you're aware of all the cleaning benefits, but it also acts as a meat and seafood tenderizer, and it also boosts the flavor, which is exactly what it's going to do for our crab. It's going to intensify all those flavors in the pot. It will not leave a vinegary taste or flavor, and it will not take over the taste of your pot, I promise you. It will be a nice, subtle flavor. So now I'm going to cover this and allow everything to cook for 15 to 20 minutes. Now remember, I am using the softback crabs and they do cook pretty quickly. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes for everything to cook down nicely. Now, cooking time is going to vary depending on the crab you're using. And of course, if you are using the pre-cooked crabs or crab legs, then you'll only cook it for about 10 minutes. You're basically reheating it and allowing it to absorb all the flavor that we have going on in the pot. So now we've hit that 20-minute mark, and I'm going to do the final check on my crabs, and everything looks and smells absolutely delicious. You can smell that spiciness as soon as you open it. It just fills the room. It's absolutely delicious. So you want to serve this with the broth as well. You want to pour it over the crabs because the broth itself is so tasty. It is so flavorful. You're going to want to keep redunking your crab as you're eating. And of course, you can also drink the broth when you're done, or you can drink it on its own. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I appreciate you hanging out with me today. And I do hope you will give this recipe a try, as well as give this video a thumbs up. Now, if you still haven't subscribed to our channel, I invite you to subscribe now and hit that notification bell. As always, one love and stay blessed, my friends.